These people don't give shit.
Who's giving them the business? The business.
All the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's got it. Goes Davis. Oh my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. It's going to win the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herbert Whitfield to the 30 to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
All right, welcome back to College Football Extravaganza. We're going into week 2 college football. We're going to wrap up the week 1 big games and a big, just huge excitement in week 1 college football for you guys. Thanks for tuning in again. We're live, so hop in the chat. If you know us, come say hey. We'll blow you. Yeah, Joey, FSU Joey, not this Joey, but FSU Joey hops in all the time. UCF Pat's been hopping in. We've had some loyal fans, and I'm telling you, one day it'll pay off, guys. Just stick with us. Just stick with us. All right, first off, we're gonna start this podcast by owning up to our locks. When we don't have a good week, there should be punishment. And I went 1 for 3, and we said that was bad. So let's see. I picked App State. And you know what? They gave it a hell of a run, man. They really did.
Oh, man.
I think I had them plus 1.5. What was the final score? Were they 1 or 2? Was it 2 points away?
I think it was.
That was a
2. It was, you didn't cover.
That was a hell of a cover.
Took the over.
Were you about to say that? Oh, that's not going to be good. All right. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
I gotta go.
So. Yeah. So I had App State. I had LSU. And then I had. Let's see. Who else I had? I had Arkansas. So I won Arkansas. I mean, and even then Cincinnati put up a good game. So here's my shot, and it's not gonna be good. It's just vodka, guys. Oh.
I think I went 0-3.
Joey, you had App State, you had Utah, you had Louisville. You went 0-3.
Yeah, I don't have anything to take a shot of. I just drove 7 hours and got here 30 minutes ago. Catch up next week.
You're gonna owe us. You don't have that trunk tequila you usually carry around everywhere. Oh, that was bad. That was trunk vodka. I'm not gonna lie. That was hot. That was hot vodka down my throat. Anyway, so there it is. I was at least close, okay? And I went with LSU. LSU was a spike pick because all y'all were picking against Florida. So, fuck you guys. Like, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have picked LSU. Which I went to the game, and I'll give my report on that later to the class. Whatever. All right, Joey, you'll owe us a shot next week. If you fuck up, you got 2 shots though.
Yep.
He's a man. He's 40. All right, Justin,
Yeah.
Your locks. Do you remember them, or you want me to read them out to you?
Read them out to me.
You had Utah. That's 0-1. You had
I'll definitely
LSU.
take a shot.
That's 0-2 right there. You had Notre Dame minus 17, so you were 1-3. 1-3 right there.
What was my fourth one?
You only get 3. Everyone gets 3.
Well, you said 1-3. You said 1-3.
Oh, my bad. You were 1-4-3. I meant 1-4-3.
So then I'll find something to take a shot of.
There you go. And while we're doing that, Davis, congratulations. 3-0. Good job, buddy. Didn't join the podcast last week, but he did send in his locks on time. This is not a lie, just to make the podcast as a whole look better. Promise you guys that. Davis picked Georgia minus 17, lock. Arkansas minus 6, lock. And he went FSU plus 3. Oh, yeah, FSU plus 3. There you go.
I'm gonna buy a house one day, and I need those bets to come in. Get down payment one day, right?
You sound like you inhaled helium, but like robot helium. Just
All right.
letting you know. All right.
All right. Well, if you guys give me a minute, I will switch to my laptop. In the meantime, I'm gonna
Just
sell it for a shot.
oh, he's taking it. I think I read his lips. I think he's taking a shot.
I think
For
it was
you,
an
Joey.
honorary shot.
Don't explain yourself. Just fix it and come back. We'll be here.
Fix it.
Fix it. It ain't gonna fix itself. All right. But I'm still settling with that vodka. That's okay though. Oh, there we go. You like
would
that
love to hear
podcast
that.
world? You like that burp coming in from the Netherlands? All right. This is week 1, and we started off week 1. Hot. I came in. The audio is trash. Come on, man. Yeah. Are you talking to me, Joey, or are you talking to Davis? Because if you're talking to me, we might need to hop back off. I think he's talking to Davis.
You sound fine, Robert.
I sound fine? All right, good. All right, so the backyard brawl. Is that what it's called? Backyard brawl, West Virginia at Pittsburgh, right?
Game. Incredible.
What a first game. Well, not a first game, but what a first. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we get started, first of all, the slate of games this week wasn't game lived up to it. Even games that weren't expected. There were so many days. It was an incredible week 1. I don't know how you can in so many different ways. It was an incredible week 1.
Yeah, no. I think this was a high point. I don't know, because if you look at the rest of the season, there are games throughout the season that are nice, but this opening week of college football was such a good way to kick off the season. And just going into it before the week, after the week 0 games and all that, we had Oklahoma State and Central Michigan. Central Michigan started off slow, but they ended up covering that spread. I called that in one of my pick'ems this week, so that was nice. The fighting Jim McElwains and the naked humping Sharks go to Oklahoma State and cover that. That's good. We learned about Oklahoma State something though. They got a good quarterback who can scramble and he's mobile. Something Sanders.
Sanders, he's been there for
Sanders?
years. He's always had the ability to do that. Is this Spencer Sanders?
Spence, maybe his brother. Spencer Sanders.
Yep. You guys suck. Anyway, West Virginia at Pittsburgh. This game was absolutely insane. I had a dinner function, so I couldn't watch the whole game, but me and this guy next to me, one of the assistants' husbands, he's a Gator fan, and I had on the old YouTube TV. Not a sponsor, but you could sponsor us if you want, Google. And we were watching that game while everyone was eating. And let's see, we got clip. This was, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I live bet. I had Pittsburgh minus by a half point, but we live bet them while we were down, and then this happened.
And then this happened. We'll go ahead and run it. Drops back, and I fucked up. As soon as he did that, he knew he's ready for it, dude. He was ready for that. He's ready for the tackle, and he's ready for this interception. Ooh, and get blocked. What an exciting play. And look at that. Imagine being in the stadium right now. Just going absolutely fucking bonkers.
Robert, have
Absolutely.
you made it to my house by this point? I bet this game, and we were doing a jump hug because we all just won so much.
No, I wasn't over the house at this point, but I made it shortly after. Get this logo out of here real quick. Get that logo out of there. We'll do that for the rest of these clips. All right. I gotta stop sharing the screen. I'm a bad producer. That vodka rushed in. Davis, how you sounding? Do a mic check real quick.
All right, mic check 1 2.
Yeah, it sounds good. A little bit of delay. That's fine. Yeah, no, I made it shortly after because I was saying I had a dinner function, and then West Virginia was either coming back or they were in the lead, and then Pittsburgh.
They're winning.
Yeah, it was 31-24. Pittsburgh, I believe, right there took it and then tied it up, and then
They just scored, and then like 2 plays later, that happened. It's called range of emotions.
just absolutely insane game to watch. And then there at the very end, that West Virginia liked to get a completed pass there on the 2-yard line and try and score, and it was an incomplete pass. Joey and the boys went absolutely insane. They were shit-faced on the Thursday. It was a sight to behold. Now, next,
That was
yeah, go ahead.
That was the most attended ever in the history of the city of Pittsburgh, by the way. That's how crazy of a game that was. And to think that's been a decade blew my mind. Because like when they played Sweet Caroline, Virginia fans, when it's supposed to go bum, 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 they all yelled this stuff that we need to have in college football every year.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of their thing, right? That's like the Gators won't back down. Tom Petty. Same game, different night. I mean, that game. First of all, before we move on, I had Pittsburgh winning, but whenever the game started going, I was like, you know what? I hope West Virginia gets them, and so I found myself rooting for West Virginia. But it was a great game to watch. Same with this game. Penn State at Purdue did not disappoint. That was a hell of a Thursday night. And this play is all over social media. It's being called the Puke Six.
Oh, this was great.
And then,
I love
it. Yeah, I love this play because, one, he's returning all the way back. He runs across the field, too, almost gets caught, has a caravan in front of him blocking, and he doesn't know it, but he's about to throw up right here. He's just absolutely exhausted from that run. And Purdue just kind of they had this one, man. I want to say Purdue had this one, and then they let it go. And I'm not going to play all the highlights because I don't want to get bumped for copyright or anything like that. But what are y'all's thoughts here? Do you take anything away from Purdue for competing in this game, or do you think Penn State is just a better team here, and they reached down and came out with one last methodical drive to put the game away?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the last methodical drive. Purdue on top of their quarterback will put together a 400-yard game. They was just really more of a complete team. Clearly, like they won't put up a whole lot of yards, a quarterback standpoint, but they are a more complete team than Purdue is. So I think that in terms of Penn State was the best. Like they'll have a couple of key offensive weapons. They'll put up a good amount of yards offensively. They're to back it up. It's all for nothing. And I think that's where Penn State got it.
We're going to need to have a meeting before the show. This is not working, boys. I don't know what it is.
Hey, email me the link, and I'm going to do it from my laptop. Email me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
We will email you the link.
I'm joining.
Was my audio good? Because I did like this game.
Yeah, go ahead. No dead air here. Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, Purdue had me scared. I had Penn State minus 3.5. It was actually one of my favorite week. Should have made it a lock. Would have been one closer, not having to take a shot. But why Sean Clifford, man, I don't think he's ever going to put it together. I mean, he did enough to win. The kid that came in when he got hurt looked to have a lot more confidence and be a lot more. I just don't know. We've watched him for a couple of years now, and I just don't know if he has it. He did enough. He did complete that pass to the tight end. He looked like I don't know how Purdue didn't. I think it was the last touchdown. He had like 4 Purdue defenders in front of him, and as a tight end, just it was a great play by that kid. And Penn State covered by a half point. Happier for that, but Purdue. I mean, they always show up in big games. That's kind of what we saw.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, speaking of Clifford, this is he sits in that very average range. He's going to play good if he's got great guys around him. He's never going to be a guy who's going to carry a team. He can be a leader in the locker room. I'm not surprised by Purdue's performance. That was, something that we talked about. Is like, they are one of those teams that they will spoil a lot of teams in the Big Ten. We've seen it for years. Saw it with Michigan State last year. So seeing that type of performance, I thought it was a great game. Once again, week 1, very great game. So I was very excited to see it.
Yep. Likewise. And those were the 2 biggest games that night, other than like we mentioned earlier, Oklahoma State playing. I consider Central Michigan's always going to be one of those teams to me that put together a good football team, at least as a group of 5 team. And so we'll move on from that Thursday. Friday, Michigan State gets a win over Western Michigan. And here's a game that I picked in my pick'em and I fucked up. Virginia Tech was -7.5 favorites at Old Dominion. Old Dominion proved that this is their Dominion and beats Virginia Tech. And I didn't get to watch this game. I don't know who did, but I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this and reevaluate what I think about Virginia Tech, because I'm not gonna watch Old Dominion. I'm just not gonna dedicate time to that. I can't do it, boys.
Hey, first off, can you guys hear me? Am I good?
A lot
A
better.
lot better.
Okay, so I'm on my computer now. We're all good. I really don't have many thoughts other than I really want to hear Justin's thoughts, because his old quarterback at Marshall is now starting at West Virginia, or Virginia Tech. Sorry, we can get into West Virginia later because I know that's a game we're going to get into. But Grant Wells now at Virginia Tech, not his greatest debut, huh, Justin?
Damn.
No, I'm not really that surprised. I'm not going to act like I was. I mean, of course, I'm going to root for him. I want anyone that leaves Marshall to do well. It's my hometown. But I was never impressed with him at Marshall. He went out on a bowl game where he lost and didn't even throw for 100 yards. This is a kid in Conference USA, couldn't win the championship, couldn't even get the top seat. Couldn't win a championship in Conference USA with a stacked defense multiple years. And he goes to play another former Conference USA team in Old Dominion. Now, we saw Virginia Tech. They have a new head coach, Brent Pry. He was the former defensive coordinator at Penn State. We saw a very well-played defensive game by them. But offensively, 4 interceptions against a group of 5 team in your Power 5 debut, pretty pathetic, yeah.
Who is scheduling games for playing at Old Dominion? That was
Well, they did a home and home. They did a home and home
Mm-hmm.
because they played at Virginia Tech last year.
I still kind of I still think they should just pay him to come to theirs for money or what. But yeah, he was terrible. I have no offense if you know him or like him, but I would say he's one of the worst quarterbacks besides Wyoming's quarterback in the Power 5.
Yeah.
Tech.
No,
I have a very healthy amount of money on Virginia Tech, and I lost it also. Currently, I hope they fire their coach again this year. I guess I don't. But yeah, it's just pathetic. Terrible look for the ACC.
Yeah.
So.
Grant Wells was by no means impressive. I see what you mean, and I was surprised they named him as the starting quarterback, if I'm being completely honest, because he was barely the starting quarterback at Marshall with the way he was playing towards the end of the year. Once again, I mean, one of them succeed. I didn't think he was going to, though. I don't think he's worthy of being a Power 5 quarterback, especially in the ACC at least. Maybe somewhere in the Pac-12, but definitely not Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Interesting takes, boys. Yeah, and speaking of the ACC as a whole, the ACC looks good after this week, but the ACC was about 3 games away from being defeated. So to me, I mean, you look at the wins. The LSU win was good, and then you had the ECU loss. I guess we'll get into it, but just looking at the ACC as a whole, from a bird's eye view, I think it could have been much worse for the ACC. And just looking at these Friday games, just looking at these Friday games, Illinois, Indiana. I had Illinois. Didn't really think that Indiana could do it there because I liked Illinois. I liked the Brett Bielema ball, and and the physicality of Illinois. And even then, even with the loss, Illinois played a physical football game. They had one of the hits of the week. I don't know if you guys saw that hit. It was like
That was
that was wild that they did
That
not
was
call
awesome.
some sort of that was great to see in college football in 2022. If you didn't see it, I should have clipped it up, but I didn't. And he just nailed him, just like the 1990s. It was awesome. Love it. Moving on to Saturday, college football games. Alabama shuts out Utah State. Utah State, can y'all hear that soundbite? Could you hear the soundbite?
No.
You could not hear the soundbite.
Nope.
Nope.
Who cares?
Did you hear it then?
Yes.
Very faintly.
All right. We got it working. Yeah. So this is going to be Alabama's first game before they play Texas this upcoming week. And they looked good. They looked in true form. I think Alabama is going to be your typical Alabama. After watching this game, we might have something new to say next week after watching them play Texas, who also had a pretty good showing this week. Any thoughts on Bama, number one?
Yeah. Well, actually, I could give thoughts about both teams, but Alabama was as what you would expect. I think a couple of weeks ago I gave a very generic description of Utah State. They have a good quarterback out of Legas who can put up some yards, but outside of that, like, you're going up against Alabama. Like, what do you expect against a team like Alabama? They're going to beat the hell out of you, and that's exactly what happened. They shut them out, as a matter of fact. Will Anderson is, depending on whoever needs a linebacker, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. He's incredible. He's an amazing athlete. So he had himself an awesome game. Alabama quarterback throws 5 touchdowns. It was exactly what you would expect out of Alabama. Going into Texas, where Texas, it was the first game for Quinn Ewers. Or Ewers, is it Ewers? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Ewers.
Like, he had a decent game. Like, he had a pretty decent game, but it was his first game. So I won't get ahead of myself. Will it be an interesting game? I want to wait on it. I want to look at the money line a little bit more, but Alabama clearly was as expected against Utah State.
Yep. On that Texas game as well, didn't really get to watch much of it. But Quinn Ewers, he also got his car towed after the game, apparently, too.
I heard that.
All that. Like, that was genuinely
Wait, did you see what car what car got towed, though? His car?
I thought it was like
He's driving a brand new Aston Martin, custom built, burnt orange colors.
Wow.
NIL, baby.
Yes.
NIL.
Let's get this going. They knew whose car that was. They knew it, too.
Well, and of course, they asked Steve Sarkisian yesterday, I think, like, so what are your thoughts on your player's car getting towed? And he was like, he deserved it. He parked in the wrong spot.
Yes. Humble that man. That man.
You can't park the Aston Martin anywhere, Quint.
That's
Idiot.
Funny.
The coach should make him take Bevo to the next game. Just make him tie it on up.
Or give him
he drives a Lamborghini. He has that deal with Lamborghini in Austin. His running back.
No, make him drive like the third string quarterback's car. Like, it's not an Aston Martin.
No, it's definitely not an Aston Martin, but it's pretty cool that college quarterbacks can, make money and buy Aston Martins now. I don't know.
No,
nice.
I agree. C.J. Stroud drove a Mercedes G-Wagon.
Nice.
That's a $130,000 car to the game.
Yeah, speaking of C.J. Stroud, we're going to the next game. This was our game of the week last week. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, went to Ohio State, and it was a pretty good game. It was a tight ball game. Notre Dame covered the spread, 21-10 Ohio State, and I did not get to watch much of this game because I was watching the Florida game. Not gonna lie, I was watching the Florida game. I was doing a little bit of drinking, and I was betting on some sports at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, Mississippi. Now, this game made me wonder about Ohio State. It made me wonder if their defense is really, really good, or if Notre Dame kind of has an inexperienced quarterback. Not inexperienced, but he just he just couldn't make the plays. I don't know there. And then also I think it's Ohio State's first game. Maybe they need more time for that offense, that Ryan Day offense to get going. But they did lose a big wide receiver core in the draft. What are your thoughts?
I just want to say I am very, very, very impressed with Marcus Freeman. That was super impressive. I don't care what anyone says about Ohio State. They can have their doubts. C.J. Stroud's still going to ball out. You just played a guy who's been a defensive coordinator, just been a defensive mind coach all his career. And he locked up a top 3, probably, in my mind, coming into the season, the top offense in the country. You have multiple guys on that offense who are going to be first-round draft picks in their career at multiple positions. Did an incredible job. Now, Notre Dame, they've never had an incredible offense. Never had an incredible offense. Jack Cohn was their last quarterback. That should tell you enough right there. The thing is, though, they are going to be a defensive team. Now, I'm terrified because Marshall has to play them this weekend. I'm not going to enjoy that game. That's going to be really tough. But when it comes to C.J. Stroud and Ohio State, I still think they're going to be a great team. Ryan Day is still going to play great football. The defense has always been a question, though, because of how he has always been an offensive mind.
I'll go real quick because that's pretty much exactly how I feel. Notre Dame switching to having a – I think it says more about their defense than it does Ohio State's offense. Ohio State's going to be fine. I think in Notre Dame it's more of the same, just maybe with a better defense. So I'm not expecting them to win the championship this year. I'm impressed with their defense.
Yeah, and honestly, like I feel like I would have added just the same thing. And you know what? I would even argue that Notre Dame, based on their schedule and not really knowing completely about like what teams like Stanford may offer moving forward, Notre Dame will probably be just fine also. But I think we're going to see the same exact story going forward. Like Notre Dame might play well enough to make it to another New Year's Six game and then get their ass kicked once they get there because they're playing a competent team. So they're going to have a good defense this year like we saw against Ohio State. But their offense, man. I need to see their offense. Yeah. That's where I
mean, they play USC later in the season. We'll probably see almost an exact same situation happen again, knowing that Lincoln Riley is very similar to Ryan Day when it comes to their play styles.
We're going to see what Notre Dame's made of. Yeah, it's going to be a really fun game. We're going to see what Notre Dame's made of. Like we said last week, we took a look at the schedule, Notre Dame's schedule, and they have some game. They don't really have a whole bunch of easy outs on that schedule. It's a fun schedule to watch if you're a Notre Dame fan. And I was going 1, 2, 3, so on. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go top 25 that way because just the way I clipped it up, it works better here. All right, so BYU takes care of South Florida handily. BYU's also on Notre Dame's schedule, so that's a big game we can look forward to later on in the season. Huge
lot of points. Could be a lot of points.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that? I didn't really get to watch that one. I'm definitely going to take a closer look at BYU.
Predictable blowout.
Yep. All right. Who cares? That's right. All right. Houston at UTSA. I had Houston winning this one by whatever the spread was, and I think it was 4.5.
4 points. 4 points, yeah.
4 points. So I lost that one because they won by 3 and 3 overtimes. This was a hell of a game. It came down to the wire, and for the most part, UTSA was winning the ball game. They probably should have won the game. And here's one of the crazy plays there at the end. We'll just show a little clip clap, blip blap. What? Sorry, I gotta fill the dead air with gun noises. All right, here we go. This was third overtime. Of course, you got your new 2-point conversion things from a couple years ago because of the LSU game. And he just did a front flip in the end zone. What a great play by Houston. And just a heartbreaking.
Extending the play, man. Making it happen.
Yeah, just a heartbreaking loss here. He's under pressure. He's got to get rid of it. And it's out of bounds. He's complaining about it. That's not pass interference. It was out of bounds. The takeaway here is I think both teams are good. I think Houston's good. I think UTSA is really good. and they're both going to have they're going to have good years. I hate to use the word good 3 times in a row as a descriptor, but they are.
It's good.
I'm not going to say they're great teams.
I mean, for the
Well,
level they
whenever,
are. I mean,
Houston was a trendy pick, and I kept warning people. UTSA is no joke. They're legit. I mean, look what they did last year. Not that much change. And I didn't bet it. I stayed away. I would have taken UTSA. And I mean, they're pretty wrong.
Yeah, I think Houston in going into this game. I mean, watching College Game Day earlier in the morning. I mean, most of them, I think all of them took Houston. There were some good words in regards to UTSA because of the season they had last year. They good team. They were undefeated for a while, lost some games late in the year, and so going into this game, -4 favoring Houston, respectable. And I'm glad the game went the way it did. It was extremely entertaining. Both teams clearly seemed to be pretty level throughout it all. UTSA will probably finish second in the AAC, but Houston is the team that is ranked going into this game. Clayton Tune is a good quarterback. I'm not obviously up to the caliber as other quarterbacks. Likely not going to get drafted, but good enough to lead Houston to a conference title and a decent bowl game at the end of the year. So it was a good win on Houston's part.
You got anything, Justin?
yeah. Oh yeah, UTSA. You know, I that's who I chose last week. I know y'all were pretty favorable in Houston. I know a lot of people were. I'm someone who watches Conference USA avidly, or was, because Marshall was always in it. So I've always known a good amount about the conference. Wasn't surprised. I mean, that team, they got a good program going for them right now. I don't know how consistent these next years will be for them, but I do know right now they're going to play good ball games. And, you know, you put them with against Western or some of those Power 5 teams, they're a good chance they can come out on top.
Agreed. All right, moving on. The next game I have on the schedule was Troy at Ole Miss, and it wasn't a beatdown like you might think it was. It was 28-10. Ole Miss wins this game, but not by much. Anyone get to catch this game? What do you think about Troy? Is that impressive, or is it a big disappointment by Mississippi?
I think Ole Miss. There's some questions there because they're going through a quarterback battle right now. I mean, Jackson Dart started the game. Next week, I'll be honest, his name just slipped my mind. There's another quarterback that they're going to start next week against really a nobody team. But, I mean, I think the game could have been better for Ole Miss. I think that if you're Jackson Dart, having a 28-10 finish against Troy, that should be a disappointment for you. That should not be a promising start, especially if you're in a quarterback competition. But I will say, just for fun, the backup quarterback to Troy is the guy that just transferred from Western Kentucky that Austin Reed beat out. And this was a guy who was a 2-year starter at Bowling Green, who was then a 2-year starter at West Virginia, and then tries to transfer to his hometown in Bowling Green, Kentucky, at Western Kentucky, only to have Austin Reed beat him out. And then this guy transfers to Troy, and he's not even starting there. So that just goes to show that hey, you got to be careful how many times you transferred. That's his 4th freaking time he's transferred, and he's still not starting.
Yeah. The guy's a head case, by the way. I just know it's some background stuff through UWF. The guy's a head case. It's all in his head. That was something I said October 1st. Look out, Troy versus Western. If Deggy is the one playing, that's gonna be really fun. Just him and Austin going at it. That'd be really fun to see that game. But Troy. There were some people, like in pages and writers that I follow, saying that Troy could come out with an upset here. So seeing this low of this score wasn't crazy surprised. Ole Miss, you probably expected them to put up over 35 at least. I wasn't. Troy's not a bad team out the Sun Belt. They're going to play ball with you this year. They're going to be pretty solid.
Nice. All right, moving on to
Kentucky.
Kentucky, yes. They took care of Miami of Ohio.
Who cares?
I mean, they look good. We'll see them next week. What is it? Anyone got anything on Kentucky?
Easy cover on that one.
I mean, I can't wait to talk about the Florida-Kentucky game.
There you go. All right. Next game was a tight ball game. Cincinnati looked good against Arkansas. Arkansas maybe should have won it by a little bit more. I don't know. I liked Arkansas. I liked them by a couple touchdowns here. It was 31-24 at home. Sam Pittman said he's going to drink some cold beer after this one. He enjoyed the win. I think Cincinnati looked pretty good for rebuilding after losing Desmond Ridder and losing a whole bunch of people in the secondary. So say what you will about Cincinnati, they kept up with an SEC team at home, week 1 college football.
It honestly was I'm gonna hold my thoughts on what Arkansas is as a team. I want to see them play against other teams. Maybe I'm not giving Cincinnati enough credit. They were a fantastic team last year, and they understandably lost against Alabama. So maybe they have something there going into this year, because I really like Arkansas. I really do. So I'm going to hold off criticizing Arkansas right now and just agree with Sam Pittman. Drink your beer, get the win, and move on, because that was a team that went to a New Year's Six game last year. They went to a Final Four last year. So Arkansas gets the win. Drink your beer. I want to see how you look moving forward, though.
We haven't mentioned this yet, I feel, and this might take us off a little off track, but the college football playoffs expanding to 12 games, that just struck my mind, or 12 teams. That just struck my mind. I completely forgot about that. I loved hearing that news, by the way. But going back to Cincinnati and Arkansas, KJ Jefferson, great game for him, 4 touchdowns. This is starting to show that Luke Fickell and Cincinnati are establishing kind of like an early 2000s Boise State. You know, they're going to be one of those big time Group of 5 schools that's going to have that's always going to play tough in football.
I like
Go,
Cincinnati plus the points in this one. I thought it was going to be a close game, though, 1-score game, the 6.5. It kind of hurts to get the loss here. But, Cincinnati. And I'm happy with the way they're playing. I thought they were going to win for a minute there. Be fine.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot to bring it up just because it's Cincinnati, and you know they're one of those Group of 5 teams that might be knocking on the door from a 4-team playoff every year. Off first glance, whenever I heard the news about the 12-team playoff, I thought maybe 12 is too much. I think I like 8. But
8's what I wanted.
Yeah, I think 12 is too much. Then you're going to get, like right now, NC State's at 13. You got Baylor at 10. I don't see who's 12, but yeah, I don't know. It's
interesting.
We got Joey talking shit to Joey. Someone get Joey a mic.
Yeah.
Do we need to start a GoFundMe? Oh yeah. Keep the shit talking coming. I love it.
I thought it was interesting.
Start a GoFundMe. You know what? I'm telling you guys, once I get my bar results back, I get a raise. We're gonna get some upgrades around here. Just wait. Be patient with us. Be patient with us.
I do want to throw one more tidbit on. We do get the first 4 teams get buys in that playoff, by the way. So that means the last 8 seeds, they get to play playoff games at home. That's just something that excites me beyond measure, because you have years like Penn State, if they're a runner-up or they're in that top 10, that's Happy Valley, that'd be incredible. LSU, that'd be incredible. Anywhere from Oklahoma and Texas, that's going to be incredible. Miami, possibly. Playoff games at home excite me like nothing else, because you get to see the fan bases at its full extent.
Yeah. Too bad Miami fans only show up if there's a Bad Bunny concert during halftime. Oh, shit.
Was there really?
No, I'm just saying that's the only way you get Miami fans to ever show up to anything.
I know. Okay, think about that stadium though. Like the stadium, like the University of Miami is located, I don't know, a little bit south of Miami. Like the football stadium they play at is way the hell up north. Like it is so far away from their actual stadium. How the hell can you blame any students from not wanting to make that commute? I mean, even UWF students won't show up to a homecoming game except the tailgate.
Like UWF students are fucking loyal as shit. I mean, look, Miami hasn't been a live stadium since the Orange Bowl was torn down. In that very last game, it was full when they lost like 30-0 to Virginia in the Orange Bowl. I remember that because I always wanted to go to the Orange Bowl, never got the opportunity to. Sucks. And
we got to bring it back.
Yeah, we got to bring it back. And Miami played Bethune-Cookman this week, so we won't have to talk about them because
kick the shit out of them. We can move on from that game.
Yeah, move on. We talked about Kentucky. We talked about Arkansas. One more thing. I agree with you, Davis, about Arkansas. I'm holding my breath on them. I was real high on Arkansas going into the season. I'm not taking anything away from them. And Joey, you're throwing me off here, man. Sorry I keep saying Joey. Joey Two Guns in the chat. I gave you a who care for Miami and Bethune-Cookman. You just got to be patient. I'll throw the who cares around. All right, Wisconsin shut out Illinois State. We got to wait and see on Wisconsin. They looked like your normal Wisconsin team to me.
Yep.
Who cares?
Fuck Wisconsin, dude. And all my ex-girlfriends who are from Wisconsin. All right, anyway. Skip Miami. USC and Rice. USC ate some rice this week, 66-14, and that looked like a good USC team. Not gonna lie, I'm very excited to see them this year. What say you, Davis?
It did as the game went on. Like at the beginning of the game, there was some slow moving, getting the offense moving and getting gelled together, but they ultimately put it together. Caleb Williams is a phenomenal quarterback. I mean, he's playing with his college coach who's offensive minded. This USC team is going to be good. I'm excited to see what this USC team does. The West Coast, I mean, Oregon have been holding it down for a while, but then we saw what they did last week. So USC, this is going to be a fun team to see this year. I have a hard time believing they're going to lose games moving forward, at least in terms of the regular season. But then again, the Pac-12 is always good for an upset at the most random moments. So, great win on them. It was a good opening statement to score 60-plus points. I can't wait to see what they do moving forward. I am excited about this team. I just really hope they don't fall under that Pac-12 curse or Big 12 curse where they just have these random losses at random moments.
I'm excited for US this game. So that's all I got.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Now, next game I do have a clip for. This game, I had NC State beating ECU pretty handily because going into it, I bought into the hype. I was sipping that Wolfpack Kool-Aid. And what are you looking at, Joey? Did I miss one?
No, you said they beat them. Oh, you had them beating them pretty handily.
Yeah, I thought they were. I had thought it, but it didn't happen. ECU, very, very physical football team. They were hitting the shit out of the Wolfpack. And like both teams were playing very physical ball. NC State got punched in the mouth here, and they would have won. They would have won. ECU is in they would have won the game, but when they tied it up, they lost their kicker. This was the extra point to tie the game, and he just shanktopotamused it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got
great.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hitting 50-yard field goals last year. This guy was well known, and just seeing this performance from him.
Yeah, this guy can't believe it. He just put some aftershave on. He's absolutely befuddled. And like you said, this kicker is known to be a good kicker, so I'm sure the fan base was like, what in the hell is going on? This kicker had his girlfriend break up with him or something this week.
He choked, man. He choked. It was as simple as that. Oh, I almost said NCAA State. No, NC State. I am disappointed by how they played, considering how much hype they've been given. Like, you can't play them that way.
Here, they drove down the field, and right here, this call is like, okay, it's quarterback draw, just get him within range. I I can see why you're doing that, but you don't have any timeouts. If you don't get the first down, the clock's not going to stop. And so they already have the field goal team getting ready to get on there and kick the game-winning field goal. As you can see, they try and do that. And then eventually they get on the field, but NC State calls the timeout and lets the kicker simmer on that missed extra point a little bit, which I think he did because he ends up doing this and pushing that thing wide right. So, I mean, do you think it got to him, that extra point? Do you think they just successfully iced him? Oh, look at this chick with the Pit Vipers. Oh, no, that's a guy. He's got his shirt off.
They had like 13,000 students there, too. Like, they were slammed.
This guy's going insane. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, so NC State gets away with the victory barely. What is that? Oh, shit. Get the shit out of my mic.
Can I make it?
Yeah. Do you that vodka's hitting, I'll tell you what, boy. Anyway, just that one shot of trunk vodka. Anywho, fucking NC State, boys. What are we doing?
It's just funny because it's they're
You
one of those.
know,
All right.
That
Just
every
so
time
we
that-
know the order here, it's gonna go Joey, Davis, Justin.
Thanks for
I'm not so
clarifying that, host. NC State being they're the team that every time they are. So I'm curious, that they put is that Will Cagle? Where's he at?
That's fucking Will Cagle in the chat, boys. Let's go. I don't know. I don't think there was a good turnout.
We'll
It's
see.
LA. There's plenty of other stuff to do.
Yeah.
They don't care about football.
We'll
in LA.
see if they can rebound from this. They're carrying. I mean, I still think he's a good quarterback. I still think they're gonna have a solid defense. So be okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just fall on their ass.
Yeah, and ECU. Are you impressed with ECU there?
They did better than I thought they were gonna do. I took NC State minus 12.5 like an idiot. So yes, I'm surprised.
All right.
I believe it's you, Davis.
Well, I think it was a good game.
What the fuck is going on over there?
I got really distracted. Hold on.
we can tell. You're looking down your phone.
You looking at boobies? What are you looking at?
As a
As
man
a
is
guy
like,
who was this
no!
guy's co-host for 3. No
The
one
man
gets
is like,
distracted.
no. And you're like,
I do gotta apologize. What game were we just talking about?
we're talking about NC State and East Carolina.
We watched the
Oh, we're
the
still on the
Pirates?
same game?
Yes.
You're next.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, first off, I like gave my quick tidbit like before Joey, but understandably we're all kind of talking over each other. Oh no, so I was a little disappointed in the fact that NC State has been given all of this hype, only to struggle the way they did. Now they were at the home stadium of East Carolina, but at the same time, if you're gonna be the 13th ranked team in the nation with some hype, I expect more. So it was honestly not even a good win. I was not impressed. I thought it was a bad win on their part. They need to play better moving forward.
Wow.
I do have to say, I always love the Carolina football games, whether it's conference games or whether it's out of conference games, because App State always plays, ECU always plays, North Carolina always plays, and Wake Forest. There's just a great list of these Carolina football teams, and so I'm always excited to watch the Group of Fives go at the Power Fives. We saw 2 this weekend. North Carolina go against App State. That was an incredible game. And then ECU and NC State, also an incredible game. So they live up to the hype.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you, Justin. I love those state games to the point of I almost think it should be mandatory that, you got to play teams in your state. That I think, I don't know. I'm not going to take that to its extreme, but think about that. If you did that in Florida, you'd have Florida play, and maybe not every team, but you'd have Florida playing Miami every year. You'd have Florida playing UCF. But then again, Florida still has to play Georgia, Tennessee, LSU every year. So that's the
It's
counter
better
to
than playing
that.
at New Mexico State.
Yeah, it is better than playing New Mexico State or Duquesne. Idiots.
Thank you.
Fucking Bishop Sycamore over there. All right, anyway. Baylor takes care of Albany.
Who cares?
Michigan. Oh, no, sorry. I skipped Oklahoma. Oklahoma takes care of UTEP. Pretty good showing for Brent Venables in his first game. Got to see more. Don't really know about UTEP.
Who cares?
Michigan beats the shit out of Colorado State. And if any guys needed to say anything, just go ahead and stop me. Michigan looked good. Cade McNamara looked like he was on point. This is going to be a good Michigan team this year. And I'm already looking forward to that Ohio State-Michigan game again.
And you know what? J.J. McCarthy is supposed to start next week. So, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see what happens there.
Very, very interesting. Which, I hate that because someone put down like a $10,000 bet for Cade McNamara to win the Heisman. I'm like, well, him not playing this one game is probably going to hurt that.
Oh, he was such a mediocre quarterback last year. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to waste time on it. Go ahead.
No, I'm not agreeing with the bet, Davis. That's a stupid bet, but I'll just throw that in there.
Oh, it's a stupid bet, but yeah, I don't want to dive into it.
Yep, nothing. All right, moving forward. Florida and Utah. Utah is ranked number 7, so this is what we're going to go with this week. Florida takes care of Utah 29-26, and it was a hell of a game for both teams. Utah and Cam Rising. Cam Rising, super fast, super elusive guy, made some plays. He missed some throws that might have been a little crucial, but you're about to see one of them. But Anthony Richardson, good showing in my opinion as a Gator fan and just a football fan in general. And this play, I lost my shit over this play. So this was just a 2-point conversion, but still, absolutely athletic play by Anthony Richardson. All right, you're gonna give me. Come on.
Boo.
Boo! I have to refresh. Sorry, guys. This is the setup. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, you gotta hate the ads.
Oh no!
No,
I can skip
not the YouTube ads, Davis. Not the YouTube ads.
I can skip the ads. It's fine. That's fine. So after this touchdown by Montrell Johnson, who very powerful running back, he came over
Excellent
from Louisiana.
addition from Louisiana.
Yeah, dude, I like this guy already, and this was the 2-point conversion. Get out of here, car insurance. What the hell? Right there. I thought he threw the ball. That he faked me out, and I'm not even playing. He faked this guy on the ground out while stiff arming him, and this guy is like, oh, I thought he threw it, and he's just chilling in the end zone. What a great 2-point conversion there.
So I'm watching this game on the lake in Alabama, and I just like you, I was faked out. I jumped out of my seat. I was like, ah, and then I was like, wait, what's going on? And then all of a sudden I see Richardson rolling out to his right, and then finds the wide open man in the corner, and all I could do was throw my arms in. I was like, awesome! It faked me out. I was completely lost on that play, and it awesome. And I see you're about to play another clip. I'm gonna leave the rest of my statements because I have a lot.
No, yeah, you're good. And then a couple scores back and forth, and this was the nail in the coffin. I believe maybe it might be the next play. No, it was this play. Interception by Amari Burney. I believe that's his 3rd career interception. He's been playing as a linebacker, and he played some as a cornerback. So he's a senior. That's good for him to be able to do that there in his senior season under a new head coach. Go on, Davis, with all your thoughts and comments, because this was one worth celebrating for us Gator fans out there.
Well, obviously, yeah, for us Gator fans, it was awesome. And you know what? I was speaking with my friend before the game, and he's a big Alabama fan. I felt almost critical of Florida, but I was like, you know what? It'll still be a good game. It's going to be a close game, but in my mind, Utah was still going to win. So going into this game, they just looked so offensively. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Anthony Richardson was extremely comfortable. He was passing the ball pretty well, but his legs were the difference maker. So I think that's going to be the big thing. if there's anything Anthony Richardson I want him to improve on is honestly like his touch a little bit, his touch and his accuracy. Like put those together, I think he's going to have himself like a good complete package. But running wise, he's extremely hard to stop. The 3 touchdowns that he scored during the game. Defensively, there are a lot of questions there, I think, because Utah was able to move that ball down the field extremely easy, and then we got the really lucky interception towards the end. Because let's be honest, that Cam Rising pass was a horrible pass. It was a terrible pass. It was nowhere near his intended target, and it was a good interception. He had to dive for the ball and catch it, but it was absolutely nowhere near his intended target. And so I think defensively we still have a lot to answer there. Anthony Richardson gave me a lot of hope, though, moving forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Justin has something different to say. I think the defense did okay because Utah's got a great offense. To keep them to 26 points, I think is a pretty good job, especially the run game that we saw last year from them.
Pac-12.
What do you think, Justin?
Pac-12, man. It's the Pac-12. Like I was just talking shit earlier. Like I think about the Pac-12. Like I don't know if I'm really impressed by how Utah did offensively, other than the defense should have been better. But I don't know. I'm gonna let y'all debate it also because like that's just my thoughts. Defensively, we could have done better.
Yeah, defensively, Florida can always do better. I mean, it's definitely a struggle. We're going to be digging out this hole that Grantham dug for us for a pretty long time, I feel. It's going to take a while for Napier, But Florida, I was very just thrilled to see Anthony Richardson living up to this hype because there's a lot of people who are doubting him because, like, okay, we gave this guy a start last year. It was horrible. Did not go good at all. But then we're hearing all these words said. He looks to be this awesome guy. It's like a lot of hype coming out of practice and camp. So we're like, okay, we're just going to hush. He balled out. The run he had from 30, 40 yards out, the run in the end zone, that was electric. I mean, that gave me so much confidence and faith just as a Florida fan because seeing that against a team that returned 17 starters, super impressive on his part. I was thoroughly impressed by him all day. That's great. First win, of course, and a great first game.
There you go. Anything, Joey? You want to hate on us?
I mean, it's just frustrating. Utah put themselves in position to play. I mean, we'll talk about it when we talk about the FSU game, but you can be mad at the defense, but when it came down game, so fuck them.
Fuck them. Yep.
I will say like one quick superlative I would say is the fans at Florida. A lot of people were saying that the atmosphere at Florida was unlike any other for that particular game. During that, like just like anywhere else in the country, no one else was talking about how crazy like the atmosphere was at Florida. So I want to give it that. I mean, I've been to a million Florida games over there. It is incredible. It's crazy. And watching it on TV, it matched up to it. And also, that was the largest sellout game for an opener. Not the largest sellout, period, for an opener. It was the largest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Moving on. And this game was our final game of the Saturday that we're going to go over from last week. And obviously, it's Georgia and Oregon. Georgia, in my mind, looking like the number one team in the nation after doing what they did to Oregon. Oregon looked bad, or Georgia just made them look absolutely terrible from the beginning of this ball game to the very end. And this play might have been the play of the week for me. I love defensive plays. I love putting defensive plays as the play of the week. And just the defender goes up and makes an incredible interception for Georgia. Bo Nix making him live up to his Bo Picks name again. What do you guys think? He threw, I think two interceptions or 3 interceptions?
I think it was 2.
2? Yeah, he threw 2 interceptions, and Georgia's defense just reloaded, looked like, and ran the ball all over him. Their guys looked huge compared to these Oregon kids.
I mean, you know what? Oregon played so bad that they're not even ranked. They were ranked 11th, and then the AP poll came out today. They're not ranked.
Do you think that's fair, or do you think that's pretty accurate? I mean, I think Georgia's just absolutely loaded.
Well, Georgia clearly is a phenomenal team, and they deserve to be ranked. I mean, you could argue they could be ranked number 1, but Alabama also played.
They had the best win. Alabama played Utah State. I would give it to them just because of that.
But at the same time, Oregon looked lost. They didn't even look like they deserved to be ranked number 11. Period.
Yeah.
So I'm not arguing completely. I mean, you can argue Alabama, Georgia, number 1, number 2, all you want. Like, I think at least that they moved up to number 2 is fair. But no, like, it was completely expected. Like, they just absolutely rolled over them, and it didn't even look fair. So I think the biggest thing is Oregon not being ranked. I think that is understandable based on how they couldn't even compete. They didn't even act like they could compete against Georgia. Anyone?
Were you acting like you were frozen? Were you acting like you were frozen or something?
I know,
You're calling somebody. You're the host. Low scoring game. I didn't think Georgia was going to beat them like they did. I expected them to win, but new coach, like I said last week, new coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback. They got a ways to go. I think I might be done with Oregon this year. So.
Well, and also Oregon's head coach was the defensive coordinator at Georgia last year. That's also an extra sting right there.
Yeah, Dan Lanning.
That's kind of mind-blowing in itself. That's kind of mind-blowing in itself, but it also shows that Stetson Bennett, I mean, he's now 1,800 for Heisman odds, I think, now. Like, they're actually, like, giving this guy, like, some consideration.
He looked really good.
Yeah.
I want, like, there was one play where he was elusive and broke, like, maybe 2 or 3 tackles in the backfield and then threw the ball for a touchdown there in the early part of the game. Looked very Heisman-like. Looked maybe not his Heisman moment, but when you look back on it, if he does win the Heisman, you'd include that in the highlight reel. Now, that was wrapping up Saturday. Moving on to the one Sunday game, the one game that I went to, drug one of my friends and my granddad to, or 2 of my friends and his mom and his girlfriend and my granddad to, in the New Orleans Caesars Superdome. FSU and LSU, and I had LSU winning this game. I think most people did, just looking at how FSU played against Duquesne, and there was still like they were impressive, but there's still something to be looked at and watched and evaluated. When we talk about atmosphere, like neutral site games seem to be lacking for a lot of people, but I'll tell you, the atmosphere in this game was absolutely insane. I've been to a lot of Florida State games, I've been to a lot of Florida games, been to some bowl games. This was a crazy game to be at, even up in the nosebleeds. And I'm going to tell you, we lost our shit many times. This on this play was one of the times we lost our shit. Is in the second half, third quarter, late third quarter. Jordan Travis absolutely gets demolished right here, and then he throws it in the end zone to a wide receiver who's getting one hand held, and yeah, you see that right there. Wilson had a number of catches, a few of them were out of bounds that should have been amazing catches if they were in bounds. Joey, I know you're chopping at the bit to get to talking. I say talking.
I was just gonna. He had 2 touchdowns and got interfered with on both of them. The other one being on that flea flicker. Mike Norvell, for the most part, this game, because we'll talk about the play at the game. He took shots at the right time. He let Jordan Travis do his stuff. The biggest takeaway from this is Jordan Travis looked like a legit quarterback. Like, it wasn't, there's not the qualifiers that you had last week about it. There used to be, he played well, except he wasn't accurate over the field. He threw over the field. He stood in the pocket. He did everything that you wanted. Heck, this game. The running backs, after having 3 for over 100 yards the week before against Duquesne, say it was bad. Obviously, you have the stuff at the end of the game. The thing is, LSU, what they were doing. we were sitting back and saying we're going to make, and he couldn't do it. Hell, he did run for 114 yards. And then at the end of the game, they said why they moved the ball so well, because then they're also playing a 3-man rush. Jared Verse, by the way, looked awfully good at football. He is very good at football right now. But he made some mistakes. But obviously, you got to talk where LSU fumbles the punt, FSU gets it, and then they call pitch and they fumble it. And everyone's killing Mike Norvell for this call. Go back and watch that play open. Like, there are 3 offensive linemen past the goal line. He could have walked in with no one guy not catching a pitch. And now you're an idiot. And then LSU goes 99 yards. You're going to play the play. Yeah, and weirdly, the second time FSU's won on a block kick in the last 5. I think Mike Norvell did a great job. Congrats to him. He needed this win. And like I said last week, you're right in the face if you can just go out there and do your job, especially after how bad Louisville was.
Yeah. I mean, I like that pitch call. I like the pitch call a lot too, because when I look at it, maybe it was a little bit behind him. Jordan Travis threw it a little bit behind him, and some people are blaming Jordan Travis for that too. But it hit him in the hands. You gotta catch the pitch, and you had the blockers. It would have been a touchdown. Maybe he would have been stopped short if he bobbled it. I don't know, but I don't think it's a bad call. This, however, was a bad call, and as a Gator fan, this is just my feeling in the stadium. I felt like the refs were completely against FSU that whole game. They were not calling anything as far as pass interference, as far as I guess as far as pass interference is my biggest gripe against LSU, but they were calling it for Florida State pretty damn easy. Anyway, this
play is ridiculous, though.
Yeah,
it is.
So me and Cody were in the stands, and we're thinking, okay, if it wasn't a first down, that clock should be running no matter what, and the game's over. But even if it is a first down, all they got to do is reset the chains, which it's first and goal. They don't have to reset the chains. It doesn't take as long. They just got to get the ball back. Then the clock starts running again. They gave LSU an untimed down. So he's down right there. If you watch the game, you know it. And then right here, obviously, they scored the touchdown. And then right here, blocked extra point to win. Great fucking ball game to be at. And like Joey says down here, so I left the comment up so long, but yeah, best college football game this season. It was one of the best games this season. I mean, I was there. I'm a little biased. I think it was the best game so far this season. And yeah, the FSU fans were loud. LSU fans got loud when they had the opportunity to, but like, they didn't really have the opportunity to till late in the game, and most of them had already left.
You know, I watched. I mean, when I watched the Florida-Utah game, I was the only Florida fan there, so I obviously was the one guy that got excited over the interception. But when I watched the Florida State LSU finale, I was in the house that was one with a current FSU student, another person who is going to go to FSU. And another person who, well, they go to PSC, but they spend a lot of time at FSU because his girlfriend goes there. And man, like it was cool getting to watch the game with other Florida State fans to see their pure reaction. I mean, I was able to be fired up. They were extremely fired up based on the blocked kick. I mean, the blocked kick was to me that was so unexpected. Like, because I mean, come on, everything was going LSU's way up to that point. It almost seemed like FSU was about to just give it away. Like, please, we don't want to win this game. We'll even fumble the ball at our own 1 yard line just so you can win. And then they blocked that kick. You know what? I'm not even saying that to be disrespectful towards FSU, because I want them to turn it around, because I want the Florida State rivalry to be great. And I'm glad that they won. I really am glad that they won. That was awesome. That was a great way to blow through the line to block that kick. They didn't give up. They did not give up, and that was a great win.
Good job.
Yeah, I think it was a great win, great game. I don't think it's the best game of the season yet. I'm sticking with Florida and Utah on that. That had a little bit of everything in my mind. But that game, I'm just being dead ass on that. That was a top 10 upset, and it was a great game. It had everything you wanted in it. Florida State LSU, there was a lot of question marks that you could say. FSU, you can't allow that late in the game, but still a super impressive win from Mike Norvell. For LSU right now, you look like the most disappointing team in the SEC. That's for sure. It looked like that place was rocking, though. I mean, that place, anytime the Dome has a good game going on, it's crazy, whether it's NFL or college. It's always going to be bumping. I was very impressed with FSU, though. I kind of had to take a slight step back on Jordan Travis. I took quite a dig at him last week. I got to say, he actually did look like a solid quarterback last week, and I have to give him that.
Yeah, he was making some throws.
I was going to say one more thing. It was just mainly because I think that we were probably 3 touchdowns better to LSU in that game. They got to figure something out. What's his name? Booty is going to even be on the team next week. He deleted
LSU. Yeah. He just deleted LSU, which, I mean, naturally, as a Florida fan, I don't want either of those teams to win. I chose LSU to program. But at that point, once it gets to the fourth quarter, I'm rooting for good football. That's all I care for. That's me for a lot of games I watch if I'm not a fan. I want good football, and it was great football.
Yep. We are running long, boys. We're going to blaze through this next week. Promise you. All right. This next week is in week 2. We're here. Week 2 college
what about
football.
Clemson, huh?
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. We got to talk about Clemson real quick. Yeah,
Actually, we really don't. Other than Clemson, they look like they sucked, and then they moved forward. And I'm not really sure about DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, and he put it out there at the end. But, what's the backup's name?
No,
because
it was like
Cade.
That one drive.
Not Cade. What's
Cade Kublick?
Yeah, Cade Kublick or Public, whatever. Public. Anyway, he looked sharp. So just one drive, and he's going to get an opportunity to play some football this upcoming week. And DJ better watch out because DJ started off the game pretty slow, and then we got to see some of his legs. But yeah, I want to see Kublick. All right. Onward, and we're only going to do top 25. Houston somehow stayed in the top 25. They played Texas Tech.
Who cares?
Anyone there? Anyone? And also, if you guys got,
I think Houston will probably hold on against Texas Tech. That's all.
Shit, this schedule is all fucked up. All right, you know what? We're gonna have to go from the top. 11 a.m. Alabama goes to Texas. This game's gonna be rocking in Texas, but it's 11 a.m. I got Alabama winning this game. What do you know? Anyone have this? Can someone pull up the spreads? It would go a lot faster.
I got it.
Alabama 20.
Alabama
the over and under 64.5. And go ahead and get your lock button ready because I'm going to go ahead and take Alabama. I'm going to go ahead and take Alabama and Texas on the over, not Alabama covering. Alabama's going to win this ball game. But I think the over is going to be hit. Lock it in.
All right, it's locked in.
Yeah, I think yours could. I just want to see that kid play this football game, because he can. And if he is, this is going to be an awesome game to watch. And Davis is going to hit this plus 20. I'm not going to lock it in because I'm going to afterwards. That's the kind of feeling I have. 50, I'm I'm an idiot.
I think they do. I think Alabama doesn't have any faith in Texas at all. I still don't and I will keep saying that until they prove me wrong and play actual decent SEC teams. But give me Alabama, lock that in, and yeah.
It's minus 20.5.
Yep.
20. Got 20, but
minus 20. Minus 20.
I'm showing, but
Justin. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to lock that one in either. Ohio State plays Arkansas State at 11.
Who cares?
Miami plays Southern Miss at 11.
Who cares?
Arkansas plays South Carolina. South Carolina like to lose to Georgia
I
State.
think they will cover the minus 26. I think they will cover minus 26, but I'm not locking it in.
On
Just
Miami.
for fun, though, in case anyone wants to put some money on it, I think Miami will cover minus 26.
Gotcha. Joey Two Guns says his name was Cade Klubnik, which is accurate, and also he's trashing you for the mic again. He's saying stay close to the mic. Also, good looks, Joey, for Joey. I got Arkansas winning this game, but it's only because I didn't like how South Carolina looked against Georgia State last week. I'm not gonna lock Arkansas in though, because like I said, they're in my wait and see area right now. Wake Forest goes to Vanderbilt, and what's the quarterback's name for Wake Forest again? He's cleared to play. He's cleared to start this game.
Hartman.
Sam Hartman?
Sam Hartman's cleared to play this week, and that could be a big upturn for Wake Forest and the Demon Deacons. I don't know. Vandy looked good against Hawaii. Don't really know too much else about him.
If
You
he
know
plays,
what? Last time I said anything about go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say if he plays minus 13, seems like you never know when they coming off a non-football illness like that. But Wake Vandy, do we really believe in him? Why he is maybe one of the worst football teams in college? Wake Forest should. That offense is going to be electric. Over at 66, I kind of like that. That would be my pick in this game. But because I'd be nervous when his first game back.
Yeah, the overs. I think I like the over. Now that you say it.
If Sam Hartman is cleared to play, well, that's awesome because it was like really unknown what he was going through. It seemed like it was pretty serious, but hey man, Wake Forest has looked extremely sharp in their first two games. I mean, at 13 points against Wake Forest right now, I'll be honest, I am taking, based on how Vanderbilt is playing, and it's at Vanderbilt, give me Vanderbilt to take the spread, although I'm not locking it in. I'm going to save it because I have other games. But I have Vanderbilt at least covering the spread.
Gotcha. Good stuff. And I'm skipping all these games. If they're not ranked or if big teams playing nobody, I'm going to skip them just for the sake of time this week. Utah going back to Mormon country, playing another Mormon Southern Utah team. Sorry, Amanda. Oh, shit.
Because Utah is going to Southern Utah. She was like one of the teams.
They're gonna have a big soak fest. Anyway, Marshall at Notre Dame. We'll talk about this one because we have a Notre Dame, semi-Marshall fan in the house.
Semi. Hold on. Woo.
We have a Marshall fan in the house.
I was like, whoa. Semi.
I thought you were a Gator fan.
I mean, yeah, I am. I mean, I grew up here, but Marshall's my hometown. I mean, if you ever walked into my family's living room, it's covered head to toe in Marshall attire and pictures and signed autographs. And
You got a Randy Moss jersey?
Nah, we don't have like jersey. It looks nice. Like for what you can make a football, like a giant football room turn into, it looks nice. Like it's been our living room for 17 years.
Nice.
But no, Marshall fan for sure. Like if I ever had Florida, Ohio State, and Marshall playing in a three-way tournament, I have to go Marshall. That's just how I am. It's home.
Nice. All right. Yeah. I got Notre Dame, obviously, winning here. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. Notre Dame's on the come up for me after last week. I was impressed by him. I just want to see that quarterback do a little bit better. David, you got anything on Notre Dame here? You spoke your piece last week.
I think Notre Dame they're going to be just fine during this game. I just want to see them offensively progress.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Clemson hosts Furman.
Who cares?
Texas A&M, Appalachian State. That could be a game. Texas A&M didn't score a whole lot of points. They got a good defense, though. They got a solid D, and I think they'll hold Appalachian State. It's not going to be like North Carolina Appalachian State. It's not going to be scoring like that. Texas A&M could probably score a lot of points here if they want to. I don't know. Spread's minus 18.5. I'm almost tempted to take that, but I'm not going to.
I'm conflicted on that one just because I'm not sure like if that performance that App State did against UNC would be indicative over what they could do over Texas A&M. So I'm going to avoid that game completely. If I'm a gambler, if I'm gambling on that game, I'm avoiding it completely.
I'm going to go Texas A&M lock.
Did I hear a lock?
Gone. Yeah.
He locked it. You got to explain your lock now.
Well, I mean, simply put, I mean, UNC, they didn't play great versus FAMU. I had App State beating UNC, but A&M, they're going to probably handle them pretty well. I mean, you lost to a very bad Power 5 team that probably won't get 7 wins this year. So, and I'm a huge App State guy because, you know, I follow the Sun Belt vigorously. But I don't see them doing anything with A&M.
Fair. Yep.
The game makes me risk. I know North Carolina's defense is Swiss cheese from that FAMU game. FAMU just got shut out. I like App State, but I'm just too nervous. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 14-point game or something like that. App State. Jimbo likes to mess around with lower ranked teams. He did it at 40.
I'm trying to see what I'm trying to see which game might be the game of the week for us. Peeping ahead.
I mean, technically it's supposed to be Alabama, Texas.
Yeah, I don't like that as our game.
I would
of the
say
week, but-
Tennessee Pitt probably.
Yeah. Well,
Florida,
all right. We're gonna act like we didn't just come up with that on the spot, and then that's gonna be the game of the week. All right. Wisconsin, Washington State. I got Wisconsin here. Let's see. Minus 17. No.
No, yeah, oh no. Like, I have
like that
Wisconsin to win, but like I mean, Washington State historically can score a lot of points. I mean, and also Wisconsin is such a weird team.
So is Washington State. I mean, these are both weird teams. Like, I don't want to touch this if I'm better.
I want Mike Leach to go back to Washington State. He doesn't fit in the SEC. He doesn't fit in Mississippi State. Because if he was there, I'd take him. So, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Joey. I'm with Joey on that all day. Love him to death, though. Best personality in football.
All right, here we got a rivalry game. Iowa State at Iowa. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lock in the Cyclones at plus 3.5. I like them because I just didn't like the Iowa game last week. At one point, it was 5-3. It was 5-3. That's a baseball score. I think Iowa can score more than 3 points. Iowa State. I think Iowa State can score more than 3 points.
Yeah. Give me Iowa State as well. I looked at that game. I was like, okay, so I scored a touchdown, right? No, it was 2 safeties and a field goal against South Dakota State, right? I think it was. I mean, when I saw that, I was just like, that's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad going into the Big Ten this year. So give me I'm with you on that, Rob. Give me the Cyclones lock.
It's going to be a double lock for me and Justin. There we go. I like that. Anyone else want to hop on this lock train?
Nah, I'm good.
This game is so unpredictable every year because I feel like Iowa the week before we're like, oh, let's all lock in Iowa State. Did they put up fucking 35 points or something in this game?
Yeah.
So I don't bet this game anymore.
Yeah, no, Joey, you're 100% right. Last year, the same thing happened. The year before that, same thing happened. And I picked Iowa State every year. I'm thinking the third time, or last 2 years, I think third time's a charm. We're going to go with that. And I got to spin some locks. Here, let's be honest. One game to look out for. Old Dominion, East Carolina. They both East Carolina trying to get that win back from last week after the missed field goals. Old Dominion coming off that hot win against Virginia Tech. I'm going to be watching that game. I'm not going to throw a pick out or anything. I just trust my eye here on the schedule.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yep. All right. Florida at Kentucky. Or not Florida at Kentucky. Kentucky at Florida.
Well, yeah.
Kentucky, no. Not this week. Not that soundbite. Not ever. I got Florida winning. What? Joey, Two Guns in here with the chat. 8.5 sounds like free money. What are you, 18.5? I'm a slow learner. Bro.
Gotcha.
Bro. Get out of here. Joey Two Guns, let me tell you, he's found a podcast, a college football podcast with libertarians, and he's just excited. He's drinking on his couch, and we're going on the 1.5 mark, and he's probably about 4 or 5 in, if I know this guy. I don't know. Tell me if I'm right. Anyway, Florida and Kentucky. I think it's -5 still. I had a minus.
It's -5 as of today. So today it's Tuesday when we're recording. So it is -5 as of today. It could change to -2. It could change to freaking +2. Like it could change by a lot. But when it's at -5 right now, like at 52.5 over and under, I think the over is going to hit. This is going to be a really hotly contested game. The way that Florida played against Utah, though, gives me incredible hope going into Kentucky, because Kentucky, they could have been better. But I have this rule, and also I already have 2 other locks. I have this rule where I don't like to gamble on my favorite team because of the bias that's there. I think it's just you're not level-headed when you do that. Florida, I think, will win this game. I genuinely believe they will win this game, but will I put any money towards it? No. And will I put a lock in towards it? No. But Florida will win the game.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm the same way, but you know what? I'm not seeing. No. Yeah, I'm not gonna lock this one because I see another lock I want. So I think Florida's gonna win the game. I think I would lock it, but like I said, I don't want to go the team bias. But if I were to give a lock, I think it would be reasonable this week, because just looking at the schedule, I don't think there's a whole lot of locks out there besides like top tier games. I don't think there's a whole lot of locks out there.
Yeah. My locks are some odd games, so I am going to lock this game at +5 legitimately. Not just I don't like Florida. I think Kentucky, we've seen it the last couple of years, they've been a huge letdown spot for Florida. You go in as an underdog, you win the game against the top 7 team in the nation, and you get a Kentucky team that's going to play you hard. Kentucky +5, and I'm going to lock it in.
Kentucky, yeah. That's a plus.
Like a true FSU fan there, Joey.
You are the worst.
Why
would you lock Kentucky?
It's not like Kentucky in the spot.
I want to give Joey Two Guns a shout out. Do we all remember Davis's record last season? Honestly, I don't remember my record last season.
No shit.
Y'all catch track?
I remember my record last
has it.
week. No, 3-0.
Yeah, no, I kept track. It wasn't good. Davis was like real bad last season.
He
I
never
was
was
terrible.
good at
I think I was
he
terrible.
was never good at picks.
Yeah, even on that's why he left ESPN, right? Couldn't pick the games.
Davis, you're gonna have to go work for the county.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, Joey Clark, you were wrong. Ah, shit. Should I say your last? You need a radio name.
It's your mom.
It's your mom. All right, your mom. You're wrong. Connie's wrong. All right, look. I said her name too. I shouldn't say her name either. My bad, dude. My bad.
You're not smart. Who is this guy? He's an amateur. You're an amateur.
All right, sorry. Anywho, USC at Stanford, rivalry game there. I got USC winning this game. I'm not going to lock it because I don't know too much about Stanford. Any locks there? Any thoughts there?
USC should handle that pretty well.
USC should get that game.
-9. That could
believe-
be. That's a lock.
I believe it's at Stanford.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that gives me pause. But I actually in USC, I think Caleb Williams is going to put on a show this season. He already did.
Sorry, putting in the locks. All right. Oh, shit. Lost my spot. And we're back. All right. Here we go. Kansas, West Virginia. I got West Virginia. Kansas.
Who cares?
Hit him with a who care. All right. Anything going on with SMU? Sorry, we can't waste time. We got to skip past SMU. We like to ride the Pony Express on this podcast sometimes. We were known for it. So SMU plays a big game. We'll be talking about them. Oklahoma State host Arizona State, and the Sun Devils. Emory Jones went over there, and they had a good showing last week. Oklahoma State scored a lot of points. Didn't really have much of a defense. This might be a high scoring game. Whatever the over under is, I might aim for the over.
Oh, the over and under. You're looking at 58.
Yeah.
11 favoring Oklahoma State. I mean, you know what? I've been debating what my second over lock would be. I already know what my last one's going to be. But Oklahoma State, go ahead and lock it in. They're going to score a lot of points. So honestly, give me the over and under, and give me Oklahoma State minus 11.
Are you spending two and one, or is that one lock on both of them?
Well, I'm going to say one lock on both. I think both will happen. No, my last game, we haven't touched on it yet. We'll get there.
Gotcha. All right. Anything else here? I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, if anything. Like I said, I think the over is going to hit there. All right, moving on. Michigan hosts Hawaii. Man, Hawaii's just getting – they're just going to get absolutely demolished.
Hawaii clearly sucks. If Vegas is giving them 51 points.
Look at the over and under compared to the Michigan.
I remember the last time I saw a spread that large.
I think Hawaii will cover. I think they will, though.
No.
I hope they can put it together.
I'm going to probably bet Michigan.
Yeah, no, I'll probably bet Michigan there. And
there's just no way Michigan beats 51. There's no way.
Vanderbilt did.
I'll do a shot if Michigan beats them by 51. Straight up, I'll do that.
I'll take that bet.
Okay. Damn, I thought this was going to be my lock. And looking at it, I thought Boston College beat Rutgers last week, but they did not. They lost.
You said that earlier in the podcast. I couldn't interrupt.
Wait, they didn't win?
No.
21.
What was the final score?
I did a parlay earlier, and I chose Boston College. Oh, no. I'm hurt.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was 22-21. Rutgers won that, actually. This +3.
Rutgers must have came back. Rutgers must have came back, right, in this game? Because Boston College was ahead whenever I was watching it.
I didn't watch this one.
I was watching it because I was like, wow, look, Boston College, they're winning. They should have everyone had Rutgers winning. Well, I get whatever. Okay, I'm gonna lock it anyway because I lost the lock against Virginia Tech last week on Ole Miss, not on the show, but on my pick 'em. I'm gonna lock Boston College +3. I don't care. It's a wild lock. Wild lock.
I think it's a good bet. I'm gonna have it in my pick 'em.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I put it in my pick 'em because I thought they beat Rutgers, but now I'm like pissed because that thing dead and gone. That thing's submitted. All right. BYU hosts Baylor. This is going to be a good game. And actually, I want to take back my lock. I want to take it back.
It's all over the place, man.
I know. Oh,
that's a wonky spread. The wrong team's favored.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
BYU's favored here. BYU's favored here, even though Baylor's ranked 9 and BYU's ranked 21. But I think it's because BYU put up like 51 points. Joey Two Gun says the Mormons are going to win. I think he's right.
I took Baylor in my parlay on this that I did earlier, and it definitely helped out in the odds. I don't know where they're getting this, 3.5 from for and towards BYU. I know it's at BYU, and they do sometimes rock out there, but
It's a route that really bugs me because Baylor's good.
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's weird. It's a weird one.
No, I'm gonna keep my lock. I'm gonna keep my lock on the Virginia Tech game, but I like BYU here. I want to watch this game. I was close to saying this should be the game of the week because I think it's going to be super competitive, but we'll see. What do you think, Davis? Got any thoughts on there?
I was looking at this game. I was teetering behind or between this game and the Tennessee game, and I ultimately decided to move past this one. I agree though that -3 with BYU is extremely generous towards BYU, but it's at BYU, and they scored a lot of points, but against not a great USF team. I think Baylor will win this game, but I'm not locking it in. So that probably tells you where my lock's going next.
Yeah, Joey, I think I missed a lock from you, so tell me if
you didn't miss it. We just didn't hit it. I'm taking UTSA -2.
Taking
it's a nobody
UTSA.
game.
Gotcha. UTSA. Joe. There we go. All right, here we go. And now, no, I go. Oregon State. They beat Boise State last week. You may have heard of them, the Beavs. They got a chainsaw as their turnover thing. That's pretty cool. They're at Fresno State this week. I like Oregon State. They played a good physical game. I think they'll get the win at Fresno State, and just watch out for Oregon State to upset some teams in the Pac-12 this year. I liked how they played against Boise State, and then at 10 p.m. Mississippi State and the Flying Mike Leaches go to Arizona. Arizona's hot off a win too, I believe. Yeah, they beat San Diego State 38-20. I like Mississippi State's offense, but their defense didn't look that good. So I'm going to pick the Mike Leaches and the Bulldogs here to win this game, but they might not be accustomed to the time change and all that. We'll see. I like Arizona can get rowdy too. I've seen some rowdy Arizona games.
Wait, Arizona or Arizona State?
Arizona.
Okay, no, I think Mississippi State is going to just absolutely kick the shit out of Arizona.
Fair. All right. That brings us. What was that, Joey?
I said I like the points. Plus
You like the points? Plus 11. Gotcha. That brings us to the game of the week in week 2 college football. Tennessee goes to Pittsburgh after hosting Pittsburgh in Knoxville last year, and that was a good game last year. This year, Tennessee's favorite to win. 6.5 points. Pittsburgh gets popping, as we saw there against West Virginia. I think they're going to be just as rowdy this game. Oh, I'm saving. I want to hear what you guys have to say first. Joey, take the reins here.
It's gonna be a fun game. It's the right pick for the week. I just looking at this week, Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee all the way. I tried to talk myself into Pittsburgh, even though they did get better in the second half. Obviously, they came back and won in the second half last week. But yeah, like I said, as the ACC guy, I'm trying to talk myself into Pittsburgh plus the points, but I can't. I said Tennessee covers.
So this game is going to be my last lock. I have Tennessee covering 6.5, and here's why. Before I just confidently say lock it in, I mean last year, Pittsburgh had a good showing in their first game, but in last year's game, Tennessee didn't start Hendon Hooker at quarterback, the guy who's the transfer from Virginia Tech. When he took over this Tennessee team, this team became an unbelievably better offensive team. they just looked like they had a future ahead of them. And Hendon Hooker possibly has a first to second round draft future ahead of him. That's me speaking. I have heard other analysts say he's probably the 5th or 6th best quarterback in the next draft. I think the future is bright for him to where he's going to get drafted high. I think he's going to have a great game, and I think that this team is going to score points. I'm not really worried about the over and under in this game at 66, but rather I am thinking that Tennessee is going to cover at 6.5, even at Pittsburgh. Lock it in.
It's locked in. Justin, what say you?
I was very impressed with Pitt last week. Didn't have them beating West Virginia. They got away with one, I guess you could say. I think JT Daniels played a good game for them. But when you look at Pitt this year, it's not going to be all that hot, probably. They'll probably be a top 3 team in their division in the ACC, possibly. And then we look at Tennessee, Hendon Hooker. They're going to play pretty well, and it's going to be a good game. So I'm going to get Tennessee and covering on this one as well.
Nice. And for me, I'm going to lock in Tennessee as well, minus 6.5. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the stadium's going to be rocking there at first. I just feel like Tennessee's a little better competition than West Virginia this year. And we'll see. Things may happen. Crazy things in college football happen all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that one in. This has been week 2. We're going to get these guys out of here. Thank you guys so much for spending your Tuesday nights with us. You could be over watching 24/7 with Josh Pate, but you're not. You're watching us, fucks. And we want to thank you for that. Like, share, and subscribe. College Football Extravaganza. And watch us grow. Grow with us. Thank you, boys.